and welcome to another installment of stuff that I've built myself that you might also want to build yourself. So today I'm talking about this guy. Space Chasm is built around a reasonably cheap multi-effects module that you can buy on a bunch of online retailers like AliExpress and Alibaba and resellers all over eBay. It's called the DSP99. If you give it a Google, it should pop up. It's essentially a pre-programmed DSP chip that has 99 effects on it. So this pedal takes that module and adds a wet and dry mixing circuit and also a big clock knob so you can underclock the module. So when it's all the way up, it's running as it's intended to be run, and as you turn the frequency of the clock down, it changes parameters of the effect and decreases the fidelity, so it starts getting like quite lo-fi and adds in some weirder artifacts. It's got its little screen here so you know what program you're on, the encoder knob here, you just cycle along till you find the program you want and you can click it. It was basically impossible for me to remember what was on this, so I've literally just printed the index of effects onto the artwork itself. I'll go over the schematic in a bit, or less so a schematic, more so just how everything's wired together, and then we'll do a little sound demo so you can see what it sounds like. Oh, it's also probably worth mentioning that this big old knob has an expression control as well, because I feel like most of the fun is in just twisting that knob as you're playing. Most of the effects are time-based on this, so you've got delays and reverbs, there are some choruses and other modulation effects, but there are no parameters on the module, so you can't like change delay time or feedback or anything, but adjusting the clock knob does have the effect of manipulating like a time control essentially with some of the presets, so you'll hear that when I demo it. Okay, so let's have a look at the schematic. Right, so here's what we've got going on inside the pedal. So the signal comes in and goes straight into a booster stage. I found that just boosting up the signal a little bit really helps with the signal to noise ratio with this chip. There's a little trimmer immediately after that boost, so you can turn it down if you're getting some clipping, because it can clip a little bit, so you just want to tame it a touch before it gets to the mixing part. Then it passes through one half of the dual op amp and splits into just the dry signal, and the other half goes down into the input of the DSP99 module. The DSP99 module runs on 5 volt, and if you look to the bottom left, you've got the power supply section. You can see there's a 5 volt regulator there. This is also supplying the LTC1799 precision oscillator. I'm using this little module from circuitbenders.co.uk. It's just pre-wired so that you can add it to things easily and quickly. You can see here where I've wired it first to the expression jack and then to the clock potentiometer, which is a B25K. Any bigger than that and you start introducing noise, so I wouldn't recommend going much bigger than that. And then on the DSP99 module itself, you want to remove the crystal oscillator, which is pointed out on this diagram, and you want to wire the output of the LTC1799 module into the pad that is closest to that little mounting hole, so it's the bottom right on this diagram. The DSP99 module has right and left outputs, so you could wire this for stereo if you wanted, but here I'm just mixing the two together before it goes to the wet potentiometer, and it's just blending in with the dry before going through the last op amp stage and going to the output. And that's basically all that's going on inside of this guy. So let's go and listen to some sound demos.